Bad Bunny is arguably one of the most popular artists worldwide, if not the most popular artist worldwide. And with him doing the upcoming Super Bowl halftime show, I figured, why not listen to him? I knew who Bad Bunny was for the past couple years, and I knew he was very popular, but I never really sat and listened to his music. So for the next 7 days, I'm gonna listen to nothing but Bad Bunny to figure out who he is musically, maybe as a person, why people love him, and if I will essentially fall in love with his music. Now, I know that there is gonna be a barrier of Spanish. I'm not gonna claim that I sit here and know Spanish, because the Spanish that I do know is probably formal Spanish that most people don't just talk in their normal day-to-day. There's different dialects and all this stuff. So I'm not gonna claim that I sit here and know Spanish, but I can pick out some words, I'm not gonna lie. I know a little Espanol. I'm only gonna listen to his studio albums, and so like if he's featured in a song or if he has like a random mixtape somewhere, probably not gonna listen to it. I'm just gonna listen to these 8 albums that are on Spotify. Wikipedia has one of them listed as a mixtape, but you know, I'm just gonna listen to what's on Spotify. And I have 3 simple rules. The first rule is I must listen to every single album once before I go back and listen to any song twice. The second rule is I gotta use one of the songs in a creative social media post. So if you follow me on Instagram or TikTok or anywhere else, you'll see that I like to use cameras in different ways, but I have to use one of those songs to make a video. And the third rule, which is probably the most important rule, is I have to look at the lyrics of every song and get them translated, whether that's by a friend or by the internet. Bad Bunny, aka Benito Antonio Martinez Acacio, is a singer, rapper, and producer from Puerto Rico known for his Latin trap and reggaeton music mix. He's dabbled in some acting, won some awards, and has been Spotify's most streamed artist multiple times, and is set to be the first solo Latin artist to headline the Super Bowl halftime show, even though some people are just hot mad about it. And my job by the end of this video is to pick my top 3 songs overall and my top albums overall. There was nothing really exciting about my first day, but I can 1000% say that this was my initial reaction to listening to the first song, Ni Bien Ni Mal, specifically when the beat fully kicked in. Then I eventually thought if I wanted to be like a full-on influencer and act all extra and everything, I'd be doing this and act like this is the most amazing thing in the world just so you could buy my product or course or whatever, but I digress. Now, because I had time, I immediately hopped on my computer and looked up some lyrics, which I guess I could have done while listening to it, but here we are. This is a disclaimer. I will most likely say some of these song titles, album titles, and other words completely wrong, so show me some grace, please, and thank you. On this first album, give me Estamos Bien, Si Estuviésemos Juntos, then MIA or Mia with 200 miles per hour and Otra Noche in Miami as honorable mentions. It was crazy though, because I'd be like sitting there vibing to a song and then I would read the lyrics and I'd be like, dang, I didn't know it was like that. Oh, look, it's me being a normal person and doing house chores. And that's exactly how I listen to Oasis. And at first, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't realize that this entire album was a collab with J Balvin. Interesting, at least I find it interesting. I actually knew who J Balvin was. I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Before Bad Bunny, like even before he was in that one Super Bowl. I can't remember which one it was. Super Bowl halftime show, that is. I eventually finished the album while I was at the gym, which I'm honestly trying to get better at, going to the gym that is, but you know, it's just one step at a time. But with that album, I just know that I'm gonna have the song or the phrase, "Y yo le llego," in my head for like the rest of the week. So for right now, that song's #1, followed by La Canción and Un Peso with Que Pretendes as an honorable mention. You know, I'm only 2 albums in, but every time I read the lyrics so far, I'm just sitting there realizing that my man was just going through it. But you know what they say sometimes, love hurts. We are starting this day by going to get some coffee, and I'm only going to start the 3rd album today, which I also understand I need to like speed up the process in a good way, like actually be able to listen to more than 1 album a day, because there's 8 albums, 7 days in a week. You do the math and that's not gonna work. I'm gonna try my best. Unfortunately, I just been home. I haven't really been doing much, so it's like not as exciting from a visual standpoint, but I'm still getting through the music. I'm enjoying every single thing. I keep, even now, I'm still like in my head, I'm like, yo le llego. Coffee has been acquired. On the way back, I'm in a good mood for some reason to just listen to some more Bad Bunny, you know what I'm saying? Even though I'm literally about to hang out with my son for a little bit. And that's exactly what I did. During my son's nap, I got through YHLQMDG. I can't remember the acronym off the top of my head. But right off the bat, I have Si Veo a Tu Mama, which I thought was a good song to start the album. Then we had some Daddy Yankee, and throughout I was just feeling this reggaeton vibe, you know what I'm saying? But those 2 songs specifically were my top 2, and then Hablamos Mañana as #3. Also had Zafarea and Bete as an honorable mention. Eventually, I figured out that the album's acronym stood for Yo Hago Lo Que Me Da La Gana, which translates roughly to I do whatever I want, which I think he did indeed with this album musically. One thing I forgot to point out is that you might be asking, how in the world are you listening to it in the car and you're not able to like write down what songs you like, even though you don't know the language? Sorry, I had to start the gas so the music would stop. But basically, there's like a balance between like the melody or the rhythm of the song, or the song sounding good, and the lyrics. So even though I don't know the lyrics because they're in Spanish, if it sounds good, that already gives it a bonus or a step up in my album rankings. The only thing that I hope is true is that the lyrics, the translated lyrics that I'm reading, I hope they're actually right. On average, my drive to work is about 20 to 30 minutes. So really, I just had plenty of time to at least start the album, if anything. So because the album was only 30 minutes and it doesn't take that long for me to get to work, and I got some gas, I listened to the whole thing. My top three, initial three, are Bendiciones, Para Romperla, I think I'm butchering these, I know, and Canción con Yandel, with Si Ella Sale as a honorable mention. Now, the interesting thing, when I got to Bendiciones, I was like, man, this song sounds really familiar. Then I realized I actually have this playlist on Spotify. It's called Crunchwrap Supreme, and it's all the Latino, Latinx, whatever you want to say, songs. Like, I love Todo de Ti by Raúl Alejandro. That's just me. It's one of my favorite songs. It's a good song. But again, like I was saying earlier, I didn't read the lyrics yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and choose those three songs. Lyrics pending, but I'm pretty confident. I also want to point out that like there is obviously like a cultural difference when it comes to me choosing these songs. I ran into this with like listening to K-pop, like BTS or Stray Kids or whatever, because I have my American culture, my black culture, and this is Latino culture, Puerto Rican culture even. So I don't have that cultural, I don't know to call it appreciation or whatever, but I don't have that connection is what I'm saying. So I might not connect to songs as much as people that live in that culture would. Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Was that the only box?
It was the only box.
Okay, all right. Do you know who Bad Bunny is?
Bad Bunny?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, so you listen to Bad Bunny?
I mean, he just so happens to pop up in songs that I listen to.
Did you know he's doing the Super Bowl halftime show?
I did.
Are you gonna watch it?
Probably.
Okay, because there's a lot of people that don't like that he's doing it.
Isn't he the one who said the thing about get your Duolingo ready in Spanish or something?
Something like that. I think Duolingo probably said that because it was free marketing. It was a perfect marketing thing for them.
It was.
All in a day's work. I'm actually gonna listen to the next album now, which is what was it called? El Último Tour del Mundo, something like that. And there goes my camera. Honestly, I feel like this album was the worst one compared to the other ones. I mean, it still had some good songs, like it was still good overall, but just compared to the other ones, that's just how I felt. Give me Daquiti, Haciendo Que Me Amas, Booker T, and I have Malita Pereza, Oye Cobre, and Yo Visto Así as honorable mentions. Haciendo Que Me Amas was a good old ballad type of song, and then the song Booker T reminded me that I knew there was some kind of WWE affiliation or interest with him. I just didn't know to what extent. So much so that I went and even watched his match against Damian Priest. Also, I did like the switch up musically with some of the songs, which is probably why I like the song Marita Pobreza. I'm probably gonna be saying that and Y yo le llego for like the rest of the week. I just know it. It just stays in my head already. Yeah, so to be completely transparent, I didn't even listen to any Bad Bunny this day or any music for that matter. It was honestly just a day of just spending time with the fam and me just watching the Broncos lose to the Patriots in the AFC Championship. Bruh. If we had Bo Nix, it'd be a different story. I don't care who you are. But because of this like random day where I didn't really listen to anything, I'm giving myself extra days. And besides, like when I edit these videos, I don't stop listening to the artist until I finish editing the video. So even if it takes me a week or 2 weeks after, I'm gonna be listening to Bad Bunny until I finish this video. However, I still need to choose a song to use for a social media video. Today is a new day, and that means a new album for me. I'm doing what I usually do when I'm doing these listening challenges. I am going for a run. It is extremely cold outside, at least for me. It's like, let's see, my watch says 28 degrees right now. This is keeping my head warm. I have my headphones in right there. I'm listening to the album, I think it's like Un Verano, something like that. I'll just put it over here. This is also an easy run, so I'm probably gonna have my phone in my hand, and if I hear a song that I like the flow or whatever too, I'll just take a note of it. And then obviously I'll look up the lyrics later. Oh, I can't get this sleeve to come back on, okay. Después de la playa. That's a good song to run to. I'm out here vibing. Hey, 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 hey. All right, TT Me Pregunta. I think that's the name of the song. I know that one. As soon as he started singing, I knew exactly what song that was. I haven't finished the album yet, but I'm also going to the gym. Solid run though. My nose is running like crazy because it's cold. But, whoo! I'm just realizing, like, I mean, I knew this before, but this man just has so many songs. So like some of the albums, I'm just like, wow, this is a lot. How am I gonna choose? And then, you know, it's at the end of the day, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal, but it's just a lot. Maybe one day I'll film fully in the gym, but today is not that day. I feel like I would just be getting in people's way, and I'm deep down a people pleaser, and I would just feel awkward just doing it in the first place. Anyway, for that album, I had to go with Party and Callaíta and Titi Me Pregunto with Tart, 2016, Me Porto Bonito, and Neverita as honorable mentions. I might be a little biased since I already knew the song Party and Titi Me Pregunto, but hey, I still like them. The rest of this day consisted of me getting through Nadie Sabe Lo Que Va a Pasar Mañana and Debí Tirar Más Fotos. I didn't do anything exciting while listening to these albums, but I had some certified bangers. At least I thought they were in the moment. On Nadie Sabe, give me Telefono Nuevo. I thought that song went hard. Monaco and Where She Goes with Thunder y Lightning as honorable mentions. It was interesting because with the song Monaco, I had like two realizations. The first being that the intro to that song was used all over social media. So I knew what that song was initially, like especially when the beginning of it played, but I just didn't know or realize that first the song was that song. I never listened to the full song, and that it was a song by Bad Bunny. The second thing was that I've been getting into F1 recently, so I've been watching this series on Netflix. So at the part of the song with the cars in the background, I was like, wait, that's one of the choruses. But last but not least, his latest album, Debí Tirar Más Fotos. I had Baile Inolvidable, DTMF, and Nueva Yo. And even though it was his latest album, I mean, I didn't expect it to be bad or anything, because, you know, people usually progress and get better and have different life experiences that make their albums different. I thought it was really good. Here we are going for another run. Sun's out today, so that's a really good thing. Got my I Go Fast shades on. But it's kind of funny because I'm listening to, you know, any part of his discography that I want. I literally looked up on Spotify Bad Bunny running playlist, and so that's just what I'm going to listen to. I think I'm more interested in finding out what songs are actually good to run to, at least for me, that I might not have noticed earlier because either I wasn't running while listening to the song or I just didn't think about it. There are a couple songs that I didn't really think about while running. I'll just add them over here. I think Nueva Yo was one of them. Rompela was one. There's just a couple. And there were a couple songs that came up that I didn't necessarily listen to yet, like 200 miles per hour. I think I know what I'm gonna add to my playlist, my running playlist, that is. In my opinion, the best part about reaching this part of a music challenge is being able to go back and listen to any song and not feel constrained. It's really how I find myself just being pulled to specific songs that help determine my initial top songs overall and even albums sometimes, and the one that I might use in a video. Also, depending on the playlist, it's usually the Spotify This Is Insert Artist Name playlist. That's when I discover some of their singles that aren't on albums or their songs with other artists, like the song Chambea, which I actually heard when I watched that wrestling match. On top of that, I also spent time trying to look up the meaning behind each album because personally, I think that just helps me understand some of the songs a little bit more. Some examples are like the album Oasis. It's named that because the collab between Bad Bunny and J Balvin was supposed to be refreshing like an oasis in the middle of a desert. Un Verano Sin Ti was inspired by his childhood summers, and even his latest album, he said, that's the meaning of the title. You should appreciate moments and people more. It's not an apology, but it's more of a reminder to myself as far as taking pictures and remembering the moments like that. And this is all according to the internet. All right, now that I've gone through all of the songs, I think I have a song that I want to use for a social media post. I got this drone. This is the anti-gravity drone. It shoots 360. And I've been taking videos with it, just kind of messing around with it. And it looks cool, looks great. And I have some other footage that I want to use, and I know what song I'm going to use, but I also feel like if you go to my Instagram or TikTok or whatever, if like see what song I chose, you're gonna be like, of all the songs, you chose that song and you chose that part of that song. But I mean, hey, I heard it and then I had the vision, so I just had to run with it. Doesn't mean I don't like the other songs though. So if you want to go check out that video, go to my Instagram account, go to my TikTok account. It's been blasted throughout this video and I put it on the screen just now. So Let's be friends. And now the time has come. Here are my top 3 songs after listening to Bad Bunny for 7 days or a week, whatever you want to call it. Give me Titi Me Pregunto, La Canción, and Valle y no... I can't say that one for some reason. With Telefono Nuevo, Parampela, and the best honorable mention for last, Yo Le Llego. I know the song's just called Yo Le Llego, but I just want to say the whole thing. My top albums were Un Verano Senti, DTMF, and YHLMDLG. I can't remember what it stood for off the top of my head, but it's I Do Whatever I Want, something like that. And then I have XCN Pre or X100 Pre as an honorable mention. Honestly, those top 3 albums could be interchangeable, but that's just how I like it for right now. Overall, I think there's a reason why Bad Bunny has the following that he has the amount of streams that he has. He's represented Puerto Rico, he's represented the Latinx culture, just everything. And newsflash, there's a lot of Spanish-speaking countries in the world, regardless of the different dialects. And so I think that when you have that many people behind you, you can't but help be loved by so many people, especially if you have someone this popular that represents all of those people. I personally think it's cool, and I'm looking forward to what he does in the future, because I'm definitely adding some of these songs in my rotation. This is Relly from the future talking to you at the end of this video. Depending on when you watch this video, it will either be before the Super Bowl or after the Super Bowl. And what I wanted to do was take some time to predict what songs I think he will perform at the Super Bowl. This video should be uploaded about a week before the Super Bowl, and I could be completely wrong, but here's what I think he'll perform. I feel like it's got to include Titi Me Pregunta, and then something like Calladita, and then probably Champea. I just feel like that's a strong representation of who he is, his culture, everything. And then I feel like something from DTMF, like Valle Inolvidable or Nueve Yol. And last but not least, I feel like there would be like a collab song like La Canción with J Balvin, or even his song I Like It with Cardi B. If I had to choose a team to win based off of what I think will happen, I'm choosing the Seahawks. I'm not bitter at all, but you know, go Broncos, whatever. For both of those predictions, I guess we'll just see what happens. Isn't this drone so cool? It's like, got a camera right here and a camera right here, and you doesn't do all that, but I can dream.
Sunday morning views quickly turns to afternoons. It's like that I can barely go and catch it, kinda how I feel with you.